Okay, everybody. So we have a weird discussion for you this week. This came up. I forget who I was talking to, and someone asked, like, what do you have left to do at the park? So they're like, you've been to all of them. Like, what do you have left to do? And I was like, oh, there's lots of things I would still like to do. And that's when it came up, this idea for bucket lists. What are the items, the things you still haven't done at any Disney park worldwide that you really want to do, and it's one of those things you really feel you need to do before you die? That's the topic tonight. Joining me, of course, we have Nathan and Nick, but then we have our illustrious panel over there in the living room.
Here we go.
Which they have two cameras.
Yeah.
Never one. Eric and Jason and Pete are with us.
Hello.
Yep.
Hi, I think all your mics are working.
Are they?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna. Everyone's not limited to one. However many people have, we'll keep going around. We'll do one each, and we'll just we'll see what's on everybody's bucket lists. We don't have phone lines, right? That's not a thing yet.
Not yet.
No,
we are working on it, and they should be much better.
Who thought the hardest thing with the streaming
It's
show in
insane.
2019 would be the phone line?
It's true.
The oldest part of it. But yeah, those of you out there in the, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Someone left this mic on the entire time. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
no, I turned it on for you, you dingus.
No, I know, but now it's not on. Can you hear me on? Because it went from it was green, then orange, now it's red.
What?
Well, normally green means go. Like,
Right.
You know, I work with microphones, you know, for my.
I can change
last
the battery if
12 years
you
of
would
my life.
like.
No, I just feel bad because I came over and it was green. But if you could hear me and it works,
know what?
then I'm
East. I thought it said Weast.
if you can hear me, then it's fine. Honestly, you could probably pick me up on Jason's, so
Yeah.
you're good.
You seem fine, but who knows? If it goes out, let us
No
know,
worries.
chat. We'll fix
I
it.
thought it was on E for enough.
Yeah.
I'm usually on volume 2 out of 45 anyway.
I'm
Yeah.
still hearing Santa reverberate through the studio at this point. But if anyone over there wants to get us started.
Yeah, sure. So my number one bucket list thing is.
Wait. You got to work your way down. You can't
Oh,
start.
yeah, that's
it's
true.
like a countdown,
That's
right?
true.
Am I
So,
wrong? Like
You
not
can
really.
count down if
save
you
the
want.
best for last.
I just have a
That's
list.
true.
It's
Just
not-
save the best for last. Are we doing top 7, right?
No, it's just whatever.
Oh,
As
okay.
many as you have.
I made a top 7 because we're us.
I
top
actually
7.
have 7 too, so don't worry about it.
Thank you.
I have
There you go, Eric.
But you
It's on
didn't see the
screen.
top 7 graphics, so we don't need to stick to 7.
Well, I have 7.
Anyway,
Jason.
the top 7 means you pick one.
I made a list of 7.
That's
bucket
not
list
even how
items.
that segment works, though.
I don't like it.
Regardless,
Hold on.
you are not
also made a list
prepared.
of 7.
You are not prepared for any
He
segment.
also made a list of 7, and we had this whole
Neither
discussion
of you
in Slack,
are right.
And
So-
we all talked about how we need rules, and now this is what you get.
But you didn't follow the rules for any segment we do.
Because normally we pick one and we argue about it. This was supposed to be just a list of your bucket list items. We talked about this in Slack.
Wait,
Never
I want to
mind.
make a point here. Just at commercial break, you said, "Wow, we're staying on time really well." So,
All right, Eric, read your top 7 because that's a great idea.
So
Just read one of them.
one of them. The one in the
But
one
from
at
the top or the bottom?
the bottom.
Start in the
from
middle.
bottom.
I'm reading all 7
So-
of mine.
On the bottom, I have Disneyland Paris.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Why?
I've heard a lot of things, and it's in my at least.
You didn't say good or bad. You said I heard thing.
Thing.
Small world globe is cracked.
wanna see
But
for
it's
myself.
fine.
Put any international parks. I probably should do
Armageddon's
that.
on. so
90% of the restaurants are
I just
closed.
kept it here in Florida.
Oh, boy.
For things.
did-
What is the thing you're most excited for in Paris? What's the driving?
So it was gonna be Ratatouille, but we're
Okay.
getting that.
Yeah.
So I don't need to really worry about that really much.
Well, you should worry about it, but
Oh.
But I guess just going, because
Okay.
I do want to go to all the parks. So
Yeah.
that was just the least.
Poor Paris.
That's on the bottom of his
Yeah,
bucket
that's
list.
just the bottom.
It's the bottom of the barrel.
Just literally adjusted my list immediately. I forgot all the international parks.
I want to go to Jelly Rolls in Europe. I want to go to Jelly Rolls.
I want to go wee at Jelly Rolls.
I want to go to all the Jelly Rolls.
Pete, I have some bad news. There is not another Jelly Roll.
Well, of course, can't be duplicated, but
Only
that's
one.
fine. That's it. You're just gonna read one off your list.
Yeah, I'll just read one.
guys-
Yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
take up
go.
this
We're
whole
gonna go
segment.
through it. That's
All right, you want him to go through the whole list? then?
No, we're
No,
just one
someone
at a
else
time.
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
somebody
Pete,
else.
you must
go.
have been horrible at show and tell, just like the worst in school.
Well, we didn't establish rules. It literally, in our Slack channel, we said, "What are we doing?" It was like, "Make a list of your bucket list." It didn't say bucket item.
It didn't
said
say how
bucket
many.
list.
It didn't say anything else.
You know, when I create the YouTube clip version of this segment, people are gonna be like, "What are they talking about?"
No, it's gonna underneath the comments gonna be like discussion starts at 10:12.
That's way more accurate. All right, yeah,
All right,
Jason can go.
I've got one. Spaceship Earth with the lights on.
Okay.
I agree.
If only there was some way we could make that happen.
Yeah.
It probably is a way.
Yeah. Called
Um,
money.
all right, so again, I know I'm beating this into the ground. Does it mean this is the only round of the only thing I'll say, or are we coming back
no,
around?
you're
It's
gonna
just
come
we're
back
go- we're
around.
sharing
Oh,
that.
okay.
We're gonna go around 7 times.
Wait, we need 7?
I don't have 7.
We're just gonna go around. Figure out.
I had 7 and then I added
Just
the other
go.
international parks. Okay. So should I go random or bottom of my list?
I literally
Oh.
don't care.
Guys, I need rules. I need structure in
Hurry up.
life.
Just pick
I
something.
went from the bottom. So.
Let's
All right,
roll
all
a
right.
dice.
So
Number
let's
6 on your list.
let's go
Let's
structure.
do it Family Feud style. Number 5.
Thank you. I will go with Victoria and Albert's Chef's Table here at Walt Disney
Oh,
World.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Why?
It is something I have not done, which I believe is a qualifier.
Yeah.
And I'm a big foodie. I love quality food. I've eaten at a lot of the amazing restaurants here on property, and I haven't done the Chef's Table yet. That's back in New York. I used to love unique experiences with the chefs from restaurants.
Yeah.
A one of a kind meal.
What's the
And,
what's the ticket price on that? I can't remember.
I
It's pretty
believe
high.
it's a few $100 a person, but you
They
also
used to-
need
they used to
a
take
decent
tables
sized
in
group.
Wonderland,
You need a
yeah.
group. Like
Yeah.
if you buy it out with one other person, it's a pretty penny. But I believe if you have 8 or more,
Yeah.
it's still a few $100 a person.
But
But
you can take me.
It's not much more than a regular Victorian.
yeah,
Albert
my
meal.
Victoria Albert's. I've been with just 2 people, and it was around $700 for 2 of us.
Yeah, it's not far off from that.
So yeah, if I could spend around $350 or less for Chef's Table with amazing, I'm not just looking around this room. I know, maybe we can make this happen. Let's
Well,
do
it's
it.
funny because on my list I have V&A. I've never been.
I know it's one of your.
So Victoria
I
Albert's
kind of
is
thought
on
we'd
here,
share
yeah.
there.
That's interesting. I just assumed.
No,
I've
he
left that as
hasn't.
the
We
last
talk about this
one.
all the
I've
time.
been to every other table service on property.
wants to make it his
except
last one.
Akershus. I have that coming up soon. Though.
Okay.
And then I can't wait to walk in and just drop kick his girlfriend and say, "It's me and Tom time."
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I love her.
He
Can't
loves
even say
her,
her
so he's
name.
gonna drop kick you. This is working out really well.
I'm gonna kick Tom and be like,
If I had a nickel for
"It's
every
you
time
and
someone tried to
me."
drop kick me at a restaurant. man.
I was there a couple of those times.
Tom will make the dress code with one of those crazy shirts. So I'm gonna walk in, we're looking real dapper, and say it's our time. But yeah, V&A's Chef's Table is one of my top 7 bucket list items.
Nicholas?
So my one of mine is kind of close to what Jason was saying, but I kind of want to walk through Spaceship Earth.
Yeah,
with the lights
walking
on.
is good
Okay.
too.
Is that
It's a lot of stairs.
I thought
I'm
of that.
sure it is.
It goes up and down. It's a lot of
Yeah.
stairs.
You know,
Yeah.
he did the marathon, right? He's probably.
Nick,
Yeah,
did
but
you
that's
know-
not stairs. It's
Did you
flat.
know on the walking tour at the end you have to turn around and walk down?
Backwards. Yeah.
It's the only way.
Oh,
it's the only way
man.
they allow you to do it.
But I think that would be cool to go through. I'd love to
Yeah.
take a detailed just leisurely stroll through all the show scenes. Yeah.
What's a bummer is we're not gonna get to do that in its current form. But maybe Tom's like, that's okay.
Maybe that's better.
Right. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what the new form is. But it's one of those things where I don't know if I would want to
Why
walk
wouldn't we
the new
get to
one.
do the current one?
I don't know. It looks like Tom knows something I don't.
I don't know anything.
So, but anyway. Oh, there's planning happening. I'm very excited.
It's always
about all of
scheming
this.
and planning.
Scheming and
Little
planning.
smirks.
I love it.
Him and Baby Chapek over there.
No, he tries to stop my schemes.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot.
It's good. Nathan?
It's sort of you know what? I'm gonna start with a low one. And it's sort of left field, but I think it works. I want to add the Walt Disney Family Museum to that list.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
It's-
good one.
It's
I
sort
really
of.
like that,
It's
yeah.
not a Disney park, but it's pretty dang adjacent. So.
Yeah.
I'd love to go see the Walt Disney Family Museum and take it in and see what they're all about. So
Yeah.
it's cool. I mean, it's basic. I would die to have at Disney Springs an elaborate 4-story
Yeah.
Walt Disney Museum.
Yeah.
It's insane that even at in California, they don't have something like that beyond the Walt Disney Family Museum. So, which it would print money. I don't get it. So I love that there is at least one place that, I love theme parks, but I also really love museums, and I want to see what that looks like when they go like that and they put together stuff that I like. So
I forgot to put that on here, but that's another one for me. Yeah.
Same. It's a good one.
Yeah. That and my two like non-theme park ones are that and Alani.
yeah.
Yeah.
Olani was like, I agree. Like I thought about it, but I was like, there's so many other things I'd
I
rather
didn't put
do.
Cruise Line because we're doing it in August.
Yeah,
so.
same.
Yeah. I have a weird one. We'll start with this weird one. I want to have the best score of the day at the end of the day on Toy Story Midway Mania.
Nice.
I'm
You gotta
decent.
start working out.
Decent. I would say I hit like 320,000.
Wow.
But that's
Yeah, but
not.
it's like a $500,000. You need,
That's
you
not.
gotta double
Yeah,
it.
that's the thing, though. I'm still like.
There's some freak show out there who can get a
150,000,
$500,000 every day. It's insane.
Somebody.
Yeah.
And
I
who's
wanna
just somebody
get
that
to
comes
that
every day? Like that's what I was talking to like my friends about. Is this person?
Maybe it's not the same person.
It's the
every
same
day.
guy. I know.
No,
who it is.
but again, like even if it's not that same guy, who is this
There's
group
a
of
person.
MIT graduates that have perfected the system?
this guy.
and gets a $500,000 every single time.
It was
I
a
go on
guy
this
who
ride.
used to also go to Block Party Bash every day. I used to see him every day at Block Party Bash. He'd bring a little bag, and he'd just collect the Nerf balls every
Genius.
day at Block Party
But he
Bash.
goes every day and just has to write
Every
day.
morning he would rope drop Toy Story, and so the score would automatically be at like 520,000
Get outta
every
here.
morning, and then he'd spend the rest of the day there until Block Party Bash. He'd collect his Nerf balls, and he'd go home.
Come on.
It's a
If only
real
this guy
thing.
knew he could be like a
Real
professional
thing.
vlogger, he would have so many views. Like that.
Love it.
From
I
a
can't
dream-
believe he's not. at
From a
this point.
dream finder's perspective, is he interesting or just weird?
I don't know. I don't know him personally. I've never met him.
I-
I've just seen him like because I used to go see Block Party a
Yeah.
couple times a trip when I was visiting in
And
those
collect
years.
all the Nerf balls.
I would get them all the time. I give them to kids at the end. I just wanted to catch them. And then
As we open up Tom's closet now.
I have a garbage can full of them. I have a couple of sets. but
Nick
I used to see him there every day, but then I'd also see him when I do the rope drop at Toy Story. He'd always be there, and I noticed, like after he got off the ride, it was 520,000. Like this guy's here every day.
What a legend.
He's riding every morning. The score's getting to that point every morning. Like I put it together eventually.
It's
yeah.
almost monk-like. It's like, the tasks of the day.
Yeah.
It's very
I've dedicated my life to
Meditative.
this thing. Yeah.
kind of.
So I would like to for one day, maybe he'll take a day off or something. I would like for one day to be the high score.
Man's wrist's broken. Another news: Tom Corliss gets best score in Toy Story Mania.
Discorder goes crazy.
Back to Eric.
Back to me.
This
All right.
park shuts down the ride.
I
Toy
put,
Story marionette show.
I put go to Shanghai Disneyland.
That should have been your number 7.
Whoa. No, it's not judge list. I like that.
I
Yeah,
Pirates
you
at
like it
least.
till you go.
Oh, it's like any international park. It's exciting
Yeah,
to do.
you like it till
Yeah,
you
no,
go.
you got to do them all. Like
Yeah.
I understand that line of thought.
There were some things at Shanghai that were good.
Uh-huh.
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there must have been at least one or two.
When that
You're
child
such a
peed in a
bougie
Ziploc.
Disney- You're so bougie. Like,
She
oh, there must
missed
be
most
something
of
good
the
in this
bag.
entire park I traveled halfway
The ho-
around the world for.
Actually, the hotel was nice.
That mother who fought with her kid to not pee in the bush.
Yeah.
That was a fun moment.
The
You were
Mulan
coming up
parade
with-
was
waiting
really
for the
good.
parade, and the kid's like trying to drag his mother into the bush.
The Mulan parade
At
was
least he knew
really
better.
good.
Besides
What
all
was good?
that-
The Mulan parade.
The daytime parade is
Yeah.
cute. Yeah,
It
it's
was
fine.
a good parade.
I mean,
I don't know. My only points for that park are Tron,
we
Peter
have.
Pan,
Yeah, Pan
and
was the best.
the ropes course. Those are the three things I would go back for, and literally.
was it
the,
worth experiencing
nothing.
Pirates once?
No, I hate it.
Really?
I really hate it. I think it's terrible.
The
I think it's
Rapids ride
overrated.
was good too.
It was fine.
It was neat.
No, Peter Pan is no one brings it up. That
It's the
Peter
best
Pan
Peter
is
Pan.
absolutely the best one. It's beautifully done.
Yeah.
And it has
Wait,
plenty
you're
of
saying it's
projection
better than
technology
Orlando?
too. So
Yeah.
it's. I know I usually rag on like screen stuff, but they did beautiful hand-drawn animation for it, so it all blends together so nicely. It's really wonderful. So there's a handful of really wonderful things they did in that park. I don't think Pirates is one of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, you want one on my list? All right. See a nighttime parade at the Magic Kingdom.
Wow. Not everyone has seen that in their lifetime.
I know. There's a lot of
That's
people.
true, it's
Yeah,
fair.
that is true. I didn't
Who
realize you were
haven't
one
never
of them.
There are
seen
some
one.
kids
Well, no,
now
I did.
old enough to be at the point.
It's
where
on
they
my
didn't.
bucket list to see another one.
Well, four years now. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Anyone.
soon to be a whole
I don't
generation
even
of
care
kids who
which one it
haven't.
is.
No, it would be nice to see something like that again because it's so weird because that's like a distinct memory from my childhood.
It is.
But my entire adult, and again, I had a huge 20-year gap from when I came as a kid, and then I didn't really ever come to Disney until I was an adult. And they're just gone, and I think they're also gone for people who haven't come as a child or even people I bring
Right.
down now.
Like,
they're,
there's a
they're like, what do
whole-
you do at night? They just run, and I'm like, there used to be a parade at night.
There's a whole generation of kids growing up that don't have that
That memory.
experience.
Yeah.
Unless
And
you
it's
go to
crazy
another-
because in Hong Kong, where they have Paint the Night still running every night,
Yeah.
it keeps everyone in the park. So if you leave, like when Paint the Night starts, you are the only person on the bus back to the hotel. But because the whole park has stayed for the nighttime parade. So if you want to know how important a nighttime parade is to people and how much money you can make when people stay
Yeah.
Right.
for that
Oh,
long,
yeah.
just
I remember
for that.
Spectrum Magic was like insane. The
Remember when it
crowds
ran
were
twice a night?
It was insane.
But see, I think that's what happened is they got rid of it, and then while they were thinking about getting a new one, they looked at it and they're like, crowd control's gotten a lot cheaper and easier now. And they're kind of like, can we get away with this? And I think that's kind of what's happened at this point.
Well, and also too, I think just with the birth of resorts and people staying on property is they're going to eat dinner there, or they're just going to go back to their resort and eat dinner. So you're making the money still on your own property. And
Yeah. But what like
That
Ron,
makes a lot of
plenty of
sense.
what
people
Ron
that aren't
Logan
staying on
said
property.
about Illuminations was he factored how much money the show had made. I forget how many hundreds of millions or whatever it was that they figured the show had made because they factor anyone who has stayed past 7 p.m. has stayed for fireworks. And so whatever revenue is generated in those hours is mostly due to your nighttime entertainment. And so if you look at the numbers that Illuminations supposedly made for Epcot, I mean that's the money you're also losing maybe at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So a lot of money left on the table, food, merchandise,
Yeah.
people staying.
big shout out to my waitress tonight at Tokyo Dining who agree with me that Reflections was the best. Well, Illuminations, Reflections of Earth, but was the best. Because all the new staff thinks this new show is great, but they're learning.
They're nice though. They like everything.
No, I know. I understand.
I once got off a Pooh's Honey Hunt in Japan, and I met one of our fans out there, and I asked them about the Pooh ride here in America, and they're like, "Oh, I also like that Pooh ride." I was like, "No, no, you have this one."
You're doing
No, but she said the same thing I did before I prompted her because my two friends were teasing me because they were like, he loves this new Epcot show. Please ask him about it. And she's like, do you really? And I said, no, it's a dumpster fire. But, and I said, well, I'm curious, before I say anything, why do you prefer Illuminations over this show? And she said, this show just, it's just like, just Disney, but not a lot of story. And I was like, that's my exact thing. This is a fire department fireworks show with no story. Turn on your local radio station, pretty fireworks, that's nice. But there's no story. There's nothing that makes you want to cry or feel emotionally connected.
Well, there's things
to
that
the
make me
show.
want to cry.
Yeah, well, of course.
Mostly
It's-
like, oh, they got rid of that thing. Oh, they got rid of this thing.
You know what? I love that this conversation has turned to what Pete has only talked
Sorry.
about since he
I know,
saw.
I'm sorry. I'm done.
Yeah.
You know,
Moving on.
this is
So,
his thing.
on my
I'm gonna
bucket
be at a
list-
funeral sometime with him. He's gonna whisper in my ear.
It
What do we
is.
talk a little bit about?
I said that night when we were standing there, I was like, this is Pete's great movie ride.
Oh
It
my
is.
gosh.
It is.
Where Pete's
So is.
first
It really
moment of
is.
negativity, and then it just snowballed.
Oh, God, it's just so painful. But anyway, I'm moving on because I
Yeah, good
love
things. Bucket list.
so many things about Disney. And one thing on my bucket list, and again, there's a ton, but I'm just going to pick a random one, is to go to Marceline. Preferably
yeah.
during some kind of special event or something honoring Walt or something fun. I'd like to take in the entire town on my own, but also kind of maybe take in some fanfare celebrating Walt or his family or the things that inspired him.
That's on my list too.
That's cool.
So I think that's a very special one. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
That was on my list until I rewrote it.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of overlap
There you go, it's covered.
among our list, but yeah.
Nick?
Kind of a weird one that I always bring up when we talk about these lists is all right, I got to qualify this a little bit, but I want to fly from the castle like Tinkerbell. I want to fly across the magic.
I thought these were things that are possible.
I don't need
This has
to.
come up in another
Is
segment.
this-
I
I thought it was possible.
don't need to wear the costume.
No, but I was told on my homework these are things that are possible. There's things I want to do at Disney that they won't allow me to
I mean,
do.
in
Yeah, I mean,
theory-
I have those too, but
In theory, he's dainty. It might happen.
do it. It's
he
possible.
might make
He
it.
can do it.
You gotta
The
fit
French
through
throws
the
outta
turret.
here.
All of it is fitting through the turret. It's not even so much the wire thing.
Again, is that something you could possibly buy or do?
No,
Well,
he can get hired. I
What's the
guess.
point of a bucket list? You know.
There has
See?
been a Tinker Boy before.
I believe it. I'm just
been
okay.
a
I didn't realize. I
Tinker old
thought
lady.
again. I'm sorry for
Terrence
asking
the
for the
Tinker
rules.
Boy.
Apparently, this is
would
just
you
a free
stop
for all.
with your rules?
I can't wait for my next one.
But Nick
So that's
wants to
yours?
come down the
I do.
line.
I want to fly across the magic
Same.
kingdom on that wire.
That would be
that's
cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think it's cool.
Would be very
It'd be
cool.
amazing, but it's not
I think that's
possible.
cool. I think it's good, Nick.
I mean, it's
Impossible, yes. Improbable, no.
That's right.
Can we do things that are like the general public are like? Of course, everyone listening is gonna be like, "Oh, we would all." I mean, unless you have a fear of heights, love to do that, but like, that's not something everyone can do. Like I
wouldn't
like
be
yes,
something
I would pay
everyone
a
can
ton
do.
of money to do that. Like even if the park was closed, they were like 3 a.m. Show up, ride the line. I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Heck
if
yeah.
I put my mind to it and I trained and I tried out.
Trained?
And he goes to Honey, I Shrunk the Nick and gets a little smaller.
Like trained what? Like
Say my
you have
prayers,
growing
eat my
blonde hair
vitamins.
and shrinking your body?
Yes.
Okay, fair
You
enough.
know what? I'm not gonna yuck his yum. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm all for it.
Go ahead.
One that I have on my list is barbershop.
Florida?
I don't really care.
Oh.
I like do they still? And this is the thing is I'm not 100% sure. They still do haircuts there, right?
I got my hair cut there.
Yeah.
The cool one is Paris.
Yeah.
Because he is a
I've
like
read about
classically trained barber, and it's generation to generation in that family.
Yeah.
And you're also in this like beautiful setting. I mean, the chair. I think they said they paid $8,000, some crazy amount of money.
It's an insane
for the
chair.
chair.
It's been
It's a
passed
real
down,
authentic-
and the
Yeah.
guy has a French accent, so it's like the perfect situation for a haircut.
Yeah. I think it
Yeah.
would be a lot of fun. I think it's just one of those things that I don't like.
The Florida one's kind of underwhelming. Like I thought that too before I did it, and it ended
they
up
do
being weird
any-
because it's all kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
do
in
they do
Paris,
any-
it's like a real barbershop, so it's
right, which is weird. They didn't really like hone in on the manscaping kind of like popularity.
I think it was too
Whoa.
far gone at that
Hey.
point. Because when it opened, it was just like a real barbershop. It wasn't
Right,
really
correct.
kid
They do that?
Yeah.
And then as the years went on, they kind of
and
realized
all
it was a
that.
cute thing, and
Yeah. Do they do any hair? Like anything you're trying to do?
Like a back
I just wanted
situation.
to- I just
They
wanted-
don't use
Like,
they
yeah,
don't
wax
use
my
a
back.
straight
You know, with all the
razor.
flags, do they do Brazilians?
They don't use a straight razor. No, it's a very basic.
I was wondering if
haircut.
it was just like
It's
you
like
know,
a super cuts job.
Yeah,
basically.
that was my
Yeah.
concern.
There's nothing
That was
super.
my-
about
Plus
super
Mike,
cut.
I think his name was Mike. Mike is gone. He's been gone for a couple of years, and that was my guy.
Oh, though
Me
I've
and
always,
Jeff Lang used to get my. No, he didn't pass away. He just retired.
I've always wanted to interview
like
Barber
Mike from
there, so
Supercuts.
maybe
Thanks for
we
listening.
can.
We could probably find
I
him.
can find him. So that's
Yes,
one of
Mike.
mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, time is flying.
Having fun?
I've got another weird one. Port Orleans Riverside has the horse-drawn carriage ride. I want to do that.
It's very
Those
nice.
four
I think it
It's very
looks
nice.
fun. Yeah.
I did it for Lauren last year, and it was just a really sweet, quaint afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I would recommend to people, so if I can give you a hack, and again, I'm jumping in on yours, but you can just look up the sunset time ahead of time before you
Yeah.
book, and get the one that just is like 15 minutes for that sunset. You can go get beignets ahead of time. You could have this nice romantic walk. Typically, the parks are still buzzing during sunset, so like it's very quiet at the resort.
Yeah.
And being there when it's very light outside, pet the horse, take pictures, and then you go into the sunset. It's an amazing.
Yeah. My kids did the one at Fort Wilderness, which you can do one there too, and it's pretty.
I like Fort, but I don't know. Riverside is special.
It's
I don't
neat,
know.
too.
Yeah.
You go through both Riverside and French Quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That resort doesn't get enough credit. I mean, that was the second golden age of Imagineering.
Yep.
That period, like even a theme of moderate as well as those two are themed. Yeah, I really want to do that. Back over to Eric.
All right. So you get my gist. I want to go to all the
I
Disney.
think we're listing another one.
Yeah,
right?
that. So I'm gonna go to another one. I want to do the Adventures by Disney but I want to do the Disneyland Resort in Southern California one.
Yeah,
Which
the one that goes to
goes-
Imagineering.
Yeah, it goes to
Yeah.
Walt Disney Studios, the Archives, the Imagineering, and they also go to the Jim Henson lot. Which
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
the first time I went to California, I flipped out because we were staying at a hotel because we were gonna go to the Chinese theater, and it just automatically just hit me, and I was like, "Wait, I know where I'm at." I looked out the window, and there was a billboard hiding Kermit. Jim Henson and Walt Disney World has always just been like my people, like for
Yeah.
as long as I can remember. So it was just such a weird thing that it just like clicked out of nowhere. Like I just got up and I was like, wait, I know where I'm at, and I ran and I got pictures in front of it. But to go inside, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome. So
Well, that
yeah,
sounds
that's
like
what
a
I
cool
got.
tour.
Yeah.
That's great. That's good. Yeah.
It's a good
Jason?
one. A very
Um,
good one.
Along sort of the same lines, I've only done a couple of the tours at Walt Disney World, like the
Yeah.
Backstage Magic, but I want to do all of them. Like this is kind of all those in one.
I have a list of all of them.
Instead of writing them out separately, like the Sunset Safari and the Elephant Tour and everything.
Wild Africa
Like, I've
Trek,
got,
Living with Giants. yeah.
The Steam Trains Tour I want to do, like all those.
Shut down right now, but yes.
I haven't done Wild Africa Trek. That's one I really
Wild
wanna
Africa
do.
Trek is so good. It's my favorite tour at the Animal Kingdom. It's so friggin' good.
So,
So
yeah,
on my list,
I've
on my
done-
list is I have the other ones that I haven't done at Animal Kingdom, because I just think the Animal Kingdom tours are so
You know what else
unique
is a
and
really
so
good one?
amazing.
They have the really cool Segway one at Epcot.
I want to do that too, and I want to do the Segway tour at Fort Wilderness too.
Oh,
Because they have one at Fort Wilderness I haven't
Yeah,
done yet either.
yeah.
So
I
tours
like
are a big
all-
one. So like if you can group
Yeah.
my list into things, because
Tours are like a big chunk.
tours are huge.
I want to do Undiscovered
huge
Future World,
chunk.
but there's not a lot of it left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that tour looks like right now.
Go ahead.
No, it's really cool. All right, so here I'm gonna
No,
throw
I
that
cut
away.
half
So
of your list off.
yeah,
there
so
you go.
half my list is tours, and then the on half of my list that I didn't realize we were allowed to say will be international parks. So if I just took out international parks and tours, one of the ones left on my list, and again, I guarantee actually this is probably on no one else's list because it's more of a Pete Carney speed, is to just like live and breathe and party hard at Epcot for New Year's Eve. Just
God, that
do
sounds
go
awful.
all out. I know people hate it so much, and I've never done it, and I've watched it for years. Like especially like once I became a Disney fan, I was like, "You're telling me there's like raves and then
Did
fireworks
you
every
not
hour?"
go? Why did you not go this year?
I had my cousins and this was a very brutal December. I had like 6 different groups of people stay with me between like Thanksgiving and last week. It's been an exhaustive run, but our New Year's Eve, and again, I love them so much. They're actually like the closest cousins to me. We had 2 young children,
Wow.
and they also
Children
just
love
like
to
made a
party.
huge long drive and everything else. So like
My
there
parents
was.
used to keep me up for New Year's Eve. And
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom.
I already told Lauren for next year. I was like, whether you come or not, like I am like going to Epcot and raging like I'm 23 years old. Like I'm going all in, whatever it takes. It just looks like so much fun, and I want to do it once before I like am this old man, with children. And not that I'm saying guys with children are old men, but I mean like I want to just go and
Here we
experience it.
It's okay.
And have fun and party it
all
up.
good.
And I'm gonna lump in. I'm gonna lump in another one on my list.
Jason's asleep.
Yeah.
Way past my
One
bedtime.
that didn't even make my list, like it was on the outskirts, was like to do, and again, this will probably be the year after, is there's so many amazing New Year's Eve events around Walt Disney World that don't get a lot of fanfare because they're so expensive and ridiculous. There's like $400 and $500 dinners or like
Yeah.
California Grill and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's the year after. So like next year is Rage Like I'm 23, and the
gotta
following year
save
is
for 2 years.
is
Yeah.
Eat In like a rich 43-year-old. So like I'm making the 20-year jump. So I'll lump
You
those
stand
together.
back, you're far away from the fireworks, you have a great view, you're like, yes, this is enjoyable.
Yes, yes. Like I'm just like, look at the
Ready the limousine.
Yes, excellent. This caviar is from a new year. But anyway, so I'll lump those two together. Is I want to experience the mayhem of Epcot New Year's Eve and the class of a beautiful New Year's Eve event at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
Nice.
Nick?
I want to pilot. No. Like different modes of transportation around Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
I want to drive the train. I want
fantasy
to
list.
drive a ferry
It's
boat.
kind of a fantasy list.
I want to pilot the monorail.
Wait, did you say the Ferris wheel?
Ferry boat.
Oh, ferry boat. Okay.
Yes.
Jason's half asleep.
How about a friendship boat? Maybe a skyway.
Skyway?
Yeah,
Pilots for Skyway.
sure there are.
Skyway
You can just get in the gondola and go.
Wait, what are you people talking about?
Want to drive a jungle cruise?
No,
Literally
that was the
making up
last thing. What's
a
a
free-for-all
Skyway?
list.
Skyliner.
They don't have
Sure
pilots.
they do. Someone's
Sure they
pilot.
do.
Someone's making them.
Hiding
There's
under
a
the
small, like
seat
a
or what?
gremlin in the.
Oh, jeez.
The
Oh no! I crashed!
You crash, you just hear, ugh, my bad.
the boats on the Sasagula. You know, I want to be a transportation pilot, dude.
So basically, your whole list that you want to work for Disney.
You want to work for Disney?
Well, no, just
In the
like
most
a day.
obscure, hard-to-get jobs.
Manual labor.
Well, transportation's not hard to get.
No, I'm just saying, but like, first he wanted to be Tinkerbell.
Go watch that guy. Go watch that guy try to dock that boat at Port Orleans French Quarter for 45 minutes.
First he wanted to be
Not hard to
Tinkerbell.
get.
His second job choice was piloting the Skyliner. These are fantasy jobs.
That one.
love it.
They're all lines. He just wants to. All Nick wants to do in his life is fly on a line. It's all this man wants to do.
Yeah.
I love it.
We need to just get
Let
him like
me
a zip
fly.
cord across the studio. The beginning of every show, he'll just
line.
fly in.
How about we just get you a zipline experience in Orlando? We cover your whole list.
Sure. I want to pilot the Astro Orbiter. You know.
I like the idea that every attraction you pilot.
Magic carpets.
The
magic
people move.
carpet.
What do you do?
I pilot.
I want to drive the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I want to go in the Big Thunder engine.
Before you take this trip on Space Mountain, you're going to need a pilot.
I want to be the Banshee and flight a Banshee. they take the console out. They put him on it. There's a kid on top just riding.
I want to be a dinosaur and dinosaur.
He does like the heavy breathing and the wing flapping.
You just go around the corner and dinosaur and turn the light on the pterodactyl.
I want to be Dory and Finding Nemo and fly
He
across
wants
the
to be the
stage.
pterodactyl so
Yeah.
he can come in on a zip line. Nathan, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just wrap up my list pretty quick here. Well, first thing I wanted to say, which is sort of cheesy, but like I have gotten to do something that was on my bucket list, which is talk to Imagineers. Like I never thought that I would be able to just call people up and have the ability to be like, would you love to talk? And I've been able to talk to Imagineers that are current. I've talked to legends. It's been amazing. And then sometimes I have to step back and be like, wow, you spent an hour with like the guy who created Tower of Terror. I mean, it's pretty cool. So for me, that's really an amazing sort of like life goal, and I'm happy that I did it. Some really quick ones. Tokyo, sort of an obvious. Got to happen. Maybe sooner than later, we'll see. Honestly, California Adventure, there was no reason to go, and now there's reasons to go. And
I like Cars Land.
yeah, and we just have never gotten out there, so my hope is to do that very soon. I'd like to walk through Indiana Jones Adventure. I think that'd be fun. Mystic Manor, and then lastly, I would take any of them, but it was almost exclusively, I really am most interested in Disneyland, but I would take any of them. I'd like to go to a Club 33 at some point. So just to say I did it, you know. I have a passion for Club 33. I think that would be a lot of fun too. So those are just kind of wrapping up my list.
Okay. I'll wrap up mine. My last two things are Tokyo-related. Surprise. I haven't stayed at the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel yet. I would really, really like to do that. That's one. And then the last one, there is one Club 33 I haven't been to, and it's Tokyo. It's the hardest one to get into because it's mostly corporation. What?
You've gone into Harambe House?
Maybe. Not at liberty to say. The Tokyo one is really hard because it's actually like real corporation.
Yeah,
That's like
it's
all
like
the membership.
legit.
So it's really hard. You'd have to like know someone at one of these 33 Japanese corporations. So it's a really hard one, but I'd like to.
Why
make
is
that
Tom
happen.
hanging out with the guy from Toyota?
Talk to me after the show. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Do you guys have any others real
got-
quick?
I have
Carney's
two
sons
more.
got you
Go
all
ahead.
set.
Blow the rest of your list.
All right,
let's
so
go.
both of them actually have to do with Nemo. I would love to do like scuba diving at the sea.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
a great
yeah.
one.
On my list.
Good one.
On my list.
Like that one, I
My
would love to
sister
do.
did that,
And
yeah.
since we're talking about fantasy, some fantasy stuff, I would love to be a puppeteer at Finding Nemo the musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems less fantasy than Nick's.
Driving a bus?
I want to drive Nemo.
Yeah, I forgot that
He
one.
could drive a bus.
Minivan.
That's not hard.
Drive the
Maybe drive a minivan.
just
There
a
you
car.
go. Just buy a red car and put dots on it.
Yeah, I'm sure Disney won't get mad. You drive on a property with that.
I've got 2 more on my list. One is watch World of Color from Mickey's Fun Wheel,
Oh, cool.
which it's not open,
They don't
and I
let
don't
you,
know
yeah.
why. I've got
Yeah,
it to
this
be
is
open.
I think in case a fountain were to shoot in that direction,
All right,
it
you
would
get
probably,
wet when you stand in
rains.
front.
No, some of them supposedly could kill you.
Wow.
No, but if
Well,
it
I
rained,
guess.
they would have to hit me direct
Yeah,
shot.
But you could
Yeah, I
put me
don't
way
know.
up at the top. Fountains can't reach that high.
I mean, if Nick's Tinkerbell, it makes sense.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
And the last one, since everybody brought up non-parks things, is the Carrollwood Pacific Society,
Oh,
Which-
yeah.
which
I
we
love
almost got to
They
2 years
canceled
ago
it.
because it's only open like the 3rd Sunday of the month.
and we planned a trip literally for the
We
third
planned
Sunday
a
of the
trip
month, and they
to make sure we
canceled
were
it.
there, and then the first time they were not open on the 3rd Sunday of the month.
It was
that time.
canceled. They had it
Yeah.
scheduled.
For
yeah.
those who might not know, because that's a little niche, explain what that is for the audience if they don't. know that.
It's a
Walt's
it's-
actual train barn is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's like a Disneyland Railroad car.
So
and-
the trains that Walt built in his backyard and things like that.
But there's park stuff too.
There's
yeah.
there's park stuff.
There's
too.
like someone built a full model of Mine Train through Nature's Wonderland that's really amazing. There's a lot of cool stuff. It's
Yeah.
really really neat. And then you could ride a tiny train
Yep.
around. It's really neat. Really,
I could
really
pilot
neat.
that for you.
I mean, that one seems
gonna need a
realistic.
You're gonna need a pilot
need
for
a
the
pilot.
train. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. That's my.
Pete, you
that's
got
on
any
my
more?
list.
Yeah, so just obviously like I had Tokyo, France, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and I had all the tours, Save It Savannah, Backstage Magic, Epcot Seas with the Dolphins.
Manager of Jelly Rolls.
No, I thought like that's not a bucket list. That's probably a job.
Not
that I
after
have.
last week.
No. Oh, by the way, I have an update on that.
Oh, yeah, tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Yeah,
later.
in the post show.
They're all there tonight because of what's going on. But anyway, I will say select cards with my list. Talk about that. If we're gonna go fantasy, the one thing I didn't put on my list, I think it was allowed, but would to be a citizen of Hollywood. I would love to be a
yeah.
citizen of Hollywood.
It's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just would be so much fun. It would be a dream. The shoes you'd be filling or like be with would be so big, but also the joy you bring to people passing by. And I think that's just one of the coolest jobs in the entire world, if you
Yeah.
even call it that. It's
Yeah.
probably one of those things that you do for nothing. So that's I'll close my list with that.
Sort of like this show.
That would have been on my list, but I think that ship has sailed for me at this
Oh
point.
yeah, yes. You'd have to build your own park.
I don't think I'm going into that casting. I think I'm going into that casting building.
They're like, "What's your
anytime
name?"
soon.
Okay, good, thanks.
They
You're like, I
got
didn't
your
say
picture
anything
on the
yet.
wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Citizens of
boy.
Walt Disney World News Today.
Well, thank you guys
We had
very
one other
much.
thought in all this.
And I know there's a lot of people that love Disney, and I just want them to know they're wrong.
I love that. I was on Conan this week. I just saw that. I was like, this needs to be on the show. I just love this. All right. Let's do it. We have a post show coming up for Wigs members. Make sure you guys stick around for that. And remember, kids, costumes, makeup, stages for lighting, teardrops, laughter. Good night.